Oh my goodness. You know what, everyone? Hello. Good day. It is Friday. It is Epic Cash Live Friday. It's the 15th. I just looked up and I see 415, and that usually strikes the fear of the IRS into us Americans' hearts. But now I guess it's the 18th that they're due. But I want to let everyone know I was doing a little bit of personal inventory over the last week. I took a page out of Mike Mumola's book, and I did a little meditation. And what came to me was when we were going from like $2 to $3 to $4 to $5 to $6 to our all-time high of 685, I was wearing this Tom Brady jersey a lot. So I really think, I think this bounce that we're going to experience is going to be because of Tom Brady. Because just saying the word Tom Brady, just makes amazing, great things happen in the universe. Now, all of you people who aren't Tampa Bay Bucks fans, you probably disagree with that. But all right, here comes Mike. Mike Mumola is coming in. You can hear him giggling in the background. That is Yoga Dude. He is with us. And then I have Mike Mumola who's coming in. Oh, good. We get him on video. Hey, Mike Mumola, how are you?
Amazing. Good morning. How are you?
Good. Well, I know you and I wanted to say Zoom Dude, Yoga Dude, are both live in Miami, and you both had a few conferences under your belt. Would you mind just kind of giving a little bit of overview of the conferences you've been to and kind of your impressions of or your takeaways as it relates to, let's go general and macro, to the world of crypto, because there's a lot of crazy crap happening today in the world.
Yeah, sure. So the most general idea that I could tell you is that we are absolutely doing the right thing for the right reasons with the right people. I went to NFTCon, and that was followed up immediately by Bitcoin 2022, where I had the pleasure of spending some time with Yoga, walking around and learning from him and meeting people. And it was just really, really great to see the collective minds all focused on what they believe is trying to do the best they can for their own financial freedom. Now, whether or not they're making necessarily the right decisions or not is another discussion. But suffice to say that they were all there for that reason. There were a lot of good speakers. There were a lot of attendees and a lot of different sponsors and others. And for me, my personal experience, I was all Epic, obviously. And whether it was a guy wearing a Monero shirt, which he was, and I walked up to him and I said, "Hey, you must like privacy coins." And he said,
nice.
"Sure do." And I said, "Well, can I have 5 minutes of your time to tell you what I like in different kinds of coins?" And he said, "Yeah." And I told him, and I sent him the link tree on Epic. And that's one of about at least a dozen people I've had conversations with.
Love that approach. How did he respond? Like when you started speaking about Epic, were there any defenses that went up, or probably
skeptical at first? Like, why haven't I heard of it? What is it? Where is it from? And
so they just haven't heard.
Yeah, and that's what I said. I said probably for the same reason that other people haven't yet. But you're here and we're having this conversation, and I don't believe in coincidences. I think this is meant to happen, and I want to tell you why I believe in it. And I'm not telling you that you should, but I want to give you all of the information to make an informed decision, and let me know what you think. And I got a text back that he was on the plane on the way home, and he said, "I can't believe what I'm seeing. I want in." I since put him in touch with Yoga. He wants to mine.
Wow.
And there were more than one. There were more than 5 people like that. And there was even one guy who Yoga was actually with me, who we went up to, is a big social media influencer. And I said, "Can I just have 5 minutes of your time? I want to tell you something that I think is important for your community." And he was kind of standoffish because there were a line of people trying to get to him, and somehow Yoga and I just happened to catch an open space. And after a few minutes of Yoga talking to him and me talking to him, he was receptive, and I sent him everything, and I said, "I'd love to hear back. And if not, that's okay." And then we walked away, and there were, 50 other people trying to get to him. And again, the next day I got a text from him. Hey, I really appreciate this. I started to look at it. I'm going to look at it more. It looks interesting.
Wow.
Speaking more. So that was the theme throughout. So it just reiterated for me, we're doing the right thing for the right reasons.
Yeah. Yoga, back at you. How about you? What was your takeaway?
My takeaway was that it is, first of all, it was just an amazing amount of people there.
Like 15,000, right?
I think the auditorium was 15,000. I think there was way more than 15,000 people at the show. But some of the interviews that were going on were super interesting. The floor itself, the convention floor, was interesting. I mean, this wasn't like size of CES where you have like 250,000 people, but it was really huge.
Yeah.
And what was amazing was I talked to a lot of people just kind of hearing their story, like some people drove 1,000 miles just to be at the show. So the power of the movement itself. And even though the show was labeled as Bitcoin 2022, the vibe there was really more about crypto. And like Mike mentioned, it wasn't even that the people are adverse to other cryptos. It's just that for a lot of them, they've never heard of that there are other alternatives, So,
right.
And again, I wasn't there wearing my Epic, Cash shirt. I was there as a crypto enthusiast, as somebody who's been there, done that, And the conversation for a lot of people, I was talking to some of the OGs there, and we were just kind of reminiscing about the good old days, and hey, mining since 2011, mining Bitcoin, remember how awesome it was, how we were trying to find uses for it, and that baseline, kind of like the secret handshake, we talked about some of the crappy mining pools that we had back in 2011 and how people were doing DDoS attacks. That was a fresh new move between competing miners and stuff like that, and it brings you closer together to people. And they're like, yeah, so what are you doing now? And I'm like, man, I haven't been mining Bitcoin since, I don't know, 2013, 2015, when FPGAs came in. This is like pre-ASIC stuff. They're like, yeah, so there's this kind of a camaraderie. And what was cool about the people from that time frame, very few of them are what I would call Bitcoin maxis. They were Bitcoin pioneers, which is a very different animal. And a lot of them since then got into Ethereum. A lot of them since then got into Monero and into other cryptos. And the thing that I realized, but empirically, the thing that I've experienced is, for those people who have that original spark of independence, of decentralization, of trustlessness, of being able to move your money, move your wealth, acquire your property in such a way that nobody but you have a say in it, what you do with it, and that it cannot be taken away. A lot of those people are super open to Epic Cash. It's just that they've never heard of us.
Hey, can I share something with you? This
Please.
Was really, really interesting. I like listening to the podcast Pomp. He's obviously really knee deep in kind of the Bitcoin. I wouldn't call it maxi camp, but certainly he has a great affinity towards Bitcoin. So he was on it was earlier this week with this guy who they had attended the conference, and somehow they had a survey that of the attendees, 87% owned other crypto, not just BTC. And they started talking amongst themselves about how one of the problems with Bitcoin, the whole community, is that there are rare few people who have really large mouths, and they were kind of giggling with each other, who are the Bitcoin maxis, nothing but Bitcoin. And he says, that's just not the community anymore. There are so many people who hold so many other cryptos, but that 87% number is probably wrong, because there are probably those who do hold it, but they don't want to get shunned. And the funny thing was, it was such you were the one I was going to send it to. I went looking for that link because I wanted it transcribed, and I wanted you to specifically hear it, and I couldn't find it. It was deleted already.
Not
so I
surprising.
think
Not surprising at all.
Hey, Uncle, to your point, I don't want to cut you off, but
sure.
I just want to elaborate on that for a second. To your point with regard to the community, that was a big part of where I found the acceptance and reception in Epic, aside from the incredible tech, and we all know what it provides. But I was at one party and there was an overlap because, you know, we were at the Bitcoin event, but there were also parties at night, et cetera. And I was at one really, really exclusive VIP event, and it's
course,
for
Mike.
another coin, quite frankly, and company. And there were only 30 of us there. I mean, it was like the founder and like top brass. And by the end of the night, I was holding court. I had about 6 people, and I'm telling them about Epic, and I'm showing them. And these are guys who are like Yoga and Max and others in the group, that level of sophistication from a technical standpoint, way above my head. And I'm telling them and showing them what we're doing and why. But then one of the guys said, but, you know, tell me the philosophy behind it. What's the community about? Why are you doing it? I told him a little bit about the community, and then I showed him Esther. I said, this is why we're doing it. I showed the Esther video.
Wow.
Be like
Goosebumps.
yeah. And so I shared the link tree with him. And the next day, he happened, if you believe in coincidences, happened to walk past when I was standing there with Yoga, introduced 2 of them. I stayed for about 5 minutes of the conversation. They started speaking Russian to each other, and off I went to get a water, but they connected, right, Yoga? So it wasn't just
yeah. That was good. That was really good.
Yeah.
Mike is amazing. Mike is the super connector. If there was such a thing in human, you know, profession or God's gift or whatever, Mike is unbelievable.
Yeah. Mike could walk up to someone with an angry face, pensive body language like that, and within 2 minutes, that guy's like, "Oh, really?"
Yeah.
Hey, I want to. We had
quick anecdote just from the show. You know, so the Miami Bull was unveiled. You know, Miami is kind of, you know, going against New York, and Miami Bull was unveiled as this like cybernetic, awesome, you know, glowing eyes bull with no balls. Now, we've been to New York. We've been, you know, many of us have been there, and we saw the big brass ones on the Bull of Wall Street, right? So we thought this was kind of weird, and I actually used it as kind of a conversation opener with some people. You know, I found the opportunistic me, the Bull presentation, unintentionally poignant. That's Bitcoin in a nutshell. Okay, it's this big, powerful thing, but it's missing some vital bits to give it future relevance, shall we say. And I said, and let's call the left one privacy and the right one fungibility. So get some giggles out of that one, you know. But again, it's those unintentional things. But if you look at them in the right way, they're really not unintentional, and they open doors. So.
I am so disgusted with myself right now. I'm going through all of my pictures because I thought I saved that picture that we had one of our memers. It's just a great visual. I'll find it. I'll post it on t.me/epic cash, but it was the picture you took, and then our memers took it from there, and each ball was an Epic Cash coin. It was great. I want to do a little PSA here. Max, as you guys know, is not on this live stream. And the reason is Max is really, really going through a difficult time. He needs a lot of money. And so he's reaching out to people. He's reaching out. I don't know if you can see here, but yeah, Max Freeman with 3 E's is reaching out to people and is asking for money. And this literally, it's like it frustrates me because I can block someone like this. So Max Freeman is Max FREEMAN 4. So you have these dudes that literally go into our profiles, they clone it, they change one little thing, and it is so close, it becomes like credible. So I want to just the PSA, public service announcement, is the first tell is if you have had conversations with somebody in a DM and then you get another conversation that has no prior history, that's your first tell. Just absolutely drill into that and take a look and say, is this an imposter? That's what happened here. It is an imposter, but I can only think, out of all of the millions and millions of people who are on Telegram or other social media, how often, especially with crypto, people get scammed. So just want to protect the community and let you know that Max really doesn't need money, and we will never, none of us will ever reach out to you directly and ask for money. And they're really subtle. They're like, hey, I need 2 BTC for just an hour. It's really important, that kind of stuff. And if you're not really aware of this stuff, you can get burned. So
and some of them are really good. Some of them will use like another language, alphabet letters to make it look. I mean, the scammers over the years have gotten really, really crafty at this stuff. And just be aware of this. I mean, the bigger we get, the more people will kind of come out like this. And we got to stay vigilant. Thank you, Uncle, for letting folks know, because this is really important.
You bet. Also, I want to make a couple of announcements. This coming Tuesday, everybody knows, let me share my screen again. Everybody knows that I'm going to be happiest when there are 100 of these type people. And there's where are we? Where the heck are we, guys?
I'm in Miami, man.
Okay, can you see that? So this is Finance Your Independence. This is Ernest. He is a YouTuber that focuses on Epic Cash, and he's doing a really, really nice job. And I'm going to be interviewing Ernest this coming Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I would love it if we have a great turnout for Ernest. It's Finance Your Independence. So please, all of you who watch that, go there right now and please subscribe, hit the notification bell. He's really coming out with some amazing content. One that I got a particular kick out of was CEO Michael Saylor consider looking into Epic. So that's like a headline that is when you then go into the show, MicroStrategy CEO Michael Saylor says Bitcoin is not the only cryptocurrency that can thrive. And there's an Epic. Now, this is obviously tongue in cheek, right? But I think there's some wisdom behind this, which is Epic Cash basically is relatively unknown. We launched on BitMart, and what we quickly determined is I think there was a FAIL on their marketing side. I still think the Bitcoin user base, the BitMart user base does not know we exist over there. So there just aren't buyers over there. But you know what? We are there. We're on a KYC, a large KYC exchange where people can go there. It's easy peasy to buy. You could buy with Apple Pay. There are other ways that you can buy USDT and just trade and get into Epic. But it got me thinking about, I kind of like this. And I know that there were a few people in the community that were offended. Like, this is just, this is a lie. He's not really looking into it. So I hear you. I know that, but I think that there is a place for us to create headlines. So if we can, if I'm not going to discourage him for doing this kind of stuff, I thought it was kind of clever, but I think there needs to be the caveat at the beginning, and I'll talk to him about this on the show, of just saying, these are headlines we would love to see one day, and just call it for what it is. This is like, what is that something B that's out there that has the made up headlines? I can't remember, but anyway,
there's a lot of them. There's like The Onion, which just is amazing satirical piece, but the fine line there is, if you're not using satire is satire, and it's very protected. The only caveat is if you're trying to use, disguise it to sell a product, and that's kind of where you got to be really careful.
Yeah.
To your point, though, Saylor is kind of an edge case, but there are guys like, there's tons and tons of guys. I'm not going to just mention one, but there's tons of Bitcoin maxis who have kind of woken up to the reality. And a lot more of them are now, like Raoul Pal, for example, a long time ago was kind of like more about Bitcoin. Then he kind of cut his Bitcoin down to like 5%. Now he's mostly into Ethereum, but he's also kind of more getting into like NFTs and other cryptos and things like that. So we should be plucking those real Bitcoin maxis who are kind of like looking at a broader picture and considering broader finance, because that's really how Bitcoin won in traditional finance. We should be doing the same thing in Bitcoin. We should approach Bitcoin influencers without scaring them, without freaking them out, and just sharing our awesome story.
Absolutely. So Ernest, Tuesday evening, and we're going to talk about headlines we'd like to see in the future. I just think that's kind of fun. And maybe in the comments or in t.me/epic cash, we can have a little fun. What are headlines you would love to see in the future? And then maybe we can get our memers to come in and dedicate it. And we could even have that as our tag. Headlines we'd like to see in the future could be part of the meme. And I just like the idea because I think we have so many, positive attributes about Epic Cash that just need to be, cleverly preached, evangelized, etc. Which leads me to another announcement. I want to let everyone know that it's not going to be this coming week, but it will be the following week. And just like Epic Cash Live on Fridays, it's going to be Tech Talk with Todd Lewis, and it is going to be probably at noon. We're all trying to be mindful of our day jobs, probably at noon Eastern time, or it'll be there's a couple hours difference, and it'll probably be closer to noon, or it may end up being like a 5 to 6 p.m. But it is going to be consistent like Epic Cash Live is. And that all came out of a conversation to where he said, I don't know how well we've ever really told the basic story of how great Epic already is, how special it is. And I'd like to unpack that. He actually called me and he said, look, you have your platform. I know you do your Epic Cash Fridays, but I just hired my 3 engineers. We are so excited about our roadmap over the next 6 months. So excited. And I'd kind of like to come on and talk about it. And I'm like, hallelujah, where you been my whole life? Because if anyone has watched Todd Lewis, he's a great interview and he's very succinct. And so this is going to be my opportunity, and I hope you join me to pull out my notebook and go into student mode. So that is coming this next week. We're doing a pregame to final lock in, because that's what's most important to me. Is I don't want a moving target. I want us to commit to it so that that we're going to be here. I think it's worked out really well for Epic Cash Live on Fridays. Would love to be able to share with you all a strategy. I have titled this show The DNA of Bitcoin Thought Experiment. Want to run it by you, the community. Already ran it by the gentleman here, and have gotten a lot of good ideas. And Spencer was on earlier too. But here's the idea, right? And it kind of emerged coming out of this Bitcoin conference, right? And everybody recalls the absolute slaughter that Mike and Yoga and Max went into when they were invited into this kind of Brady Bunch type Slaughterhouse 5 to where they just slammed Epic Cash. By the way, it was after that, this is what got me thinking about the headlines, right? It's after that where we really started taking off. So I have a sneaky suspicion there were probably more than one of those on that panel that were just silently going in there and buying them some Epic Cash, because I don't think it went all over their head. But I'm just speculating. But here's my idea, and I flinched it with Max, and he likes it, and so does everybody else that I went by. But here it is. Okay, what do you think? So instead of going to a BTC Maxi person or a BTC somebody that has a high holdings who just, it's almost like a religious, a religion. Instead of going to them and just saying, hey, here's you, here's us, here's how we're better. Screw you, we're better, we're the future, all of that. No, how about this? How about let's get on the same side of the table? So I suggested to Max, because I know he's working on this book, The DNA of Bitcoin. I said, let's go through an exercise, or you could, or if you don't have the bandwidth, maybe some community members could. Let's go through the Satoshi paper and literally do a word count of how many times does Satoshi say trustlessness? 12. Okay. How many times does he say scarcity or decentralized or, 21 million? How many times? Let's go through that, and then we'll mark that. And so we can all agree, put it up on the whiteboard, if you will, and say, okay, these were all mentioned more than once. So I think when he was writing this, those were important to him, right? Can we agree to that? Excellent. All right. Now, the next step is let's agree on a definition of terms. What did Satoshi mean with using one sentence or two by permissionless or trustless, or, what I'm saying? And get everybody to agree on that, right? So this is just kind of a whiteboard session. Now I'm talking about everybody's around this table, Epic folks, BTC Maxis, people who are agnostic, that are just crypto curious. But the idea would be to come up with this list, okay? Let's all agree. That was all coming from the white paper. Now, here's step 2. I envision that to be on the top of a one-pager, okay? To where those, let's call them 10 attributes, and their definitions beside them. Okay. Then let's go through the reason why I called it thought experiment is, let's say, what if Satoshi had today's tech, not 2019, not to lead people to the witness, lead the witness to Epic Cash. This isn't about Epic Cash. This is about trying to get inside Satoshi's head. What if we added at the bottom a section dedicated to tech? And you know what? The Lightning Network could absolutely be on there. So that would be a check for BTC. We don't have Lightning Network, right? But privacy would be down there. I think we could all agree that privacy, if Satoshi had the tech, privacy probably would have been important to them. So let's just say we come up with 4 additional things that are tech related. Okay. Now you turn the page over that Spencer is going to create. And on the left side, you have all of those attributes, including the tech. And then you have 6 areas up there. Now, part of the first thing that needs to be up there is layer 1 protocol. So that's you're not going to get on this list, because I want to be able to have 6 lines to where above them you could put BTC, you could put a total of 6 coins that are left standing, that we think have all of the right attributes to be considered as important, as meaningful to have in your own personal portfolio, because based on Satoshi's original vision. Okay. And everything that we agreed to was important to him, and what would probably have been important to him if he had today's tech. And then we write in those coins. Epic Cash would be the last one in my mind, right? You'd put Epic over there. Now, when you go through there, pragmatically, you could do this as a group and say, okay, BTC, where are you with 21 million? Check. Where are you with scarcity? Check. Because of the 21 million, right? Etc. You go down the line and you just pragmatically do it. They're going to have a check mark next to Lightning, because they believe that solves for a lot of things, but it also opens up a different can of worms, because you are absolutely not private in that environment, and it is censorship. It's not censorship resistant. But the idea isn't to be slugfest. It's to be pragmatic. And through that process, what do we get to do? We get to learn. We get to learn what each attribute that is on that list means, why it was important, and we come to consensus. At the end of this exercise, you're going to have 6 coins across the top, and you're going to have check marks, and the exercise is done. Nobody's declaring anyone a loser or a winner. But why is this important? That is a way that we can, without being confrontational, we could go have adult conversations with, I don't care if you're a BT Maxi, or shoot, if you want to do the same thing with layer 2, you know, we could put layer 1 and layer 2. Now, you know, I guess BTC would have layer 1 checked and layer 2 because of Lightning, but we would just have layer 1. All I'm saying is the more the conversations that we can have with other people who have large viewerships, who are influencers, to where we're not going in there saying, na poo poo, we're better than you, even though we only have a $30-40 million market cap. No, let's get on the same side of the table and come to some consensus where at the end they walk away saying, I didn't realize that about Epic. That's pretty interesting. Let me check into that a little further. These guys were pretty cool.
The more of us out there and the more informed we are about our options, the better decisions we can make, and the more we can future-proof ourselves against what's going on in the world. I mean, there's definitely power in numbers. And, you know, if the Fed or if, you know, whatever powers that be, you know, start using the divide and conquer strategy, you know, this creates vulnerabilities. If some people who are, you know, their interests are secured only by their misinformation, they're doing a disservice to their communities. So I think just a fair and open exchange of information, you know, like the people at the show, they were not all Bitcoin nuts. They were crypto curious people. A lot of them, they just didn't know that there's anything out there besides Bitcoin, literally. And they were totally open. Like, I have not had the word shitcoin thrown at me the entire show. In fact, I have not heard the word shitcoin the entire show. Okay.
That's awesome.
Because the mindset is that I remember from, you know, early days. The mindset was very healthy. The mindset was there's strength in numbers. And here we all are, crypto curious, trying to solve financial problems of the world today, trying to solve property problems of the world today, trying to solve social problems of the world today. And we benefit not from tearing each other down, but we're benefiting from cross-pollinating ideas in an open and egalitarian setting. And where Epic really shines is because of our modularity and because of our non-dogmatic approach that, you know, everything is just, you know, like just like this and no other way. We benefit tremendously over a lot of the other cryptos, because if there's technology out there, like, for example, if there's proof of work technology, then better than we have, we're not threatened by it. We embrace it and we will use it. If there's tech out there that doesn't suck, we will add it to our collective. Okay. And that's the path of evolution. That's how greatness is achieved, not by people just closing off and just going, you know, la 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 la, I'm not going to hear you, you know, but through dialogue.
You just said, if it doesn't suck, we'll incorporate it. And the counter to that from some other sides is, well, we embrace the suck because we have to. Right.
That's essentially what they're saying without saying it.
Yeah.
You know, and if you hang your hat on just one peg and it's called scarcity and you really get nothing else to say, there's a lot of questions that will get asked.
I know the answer, but I'd love for everyone watching to know, you were there at the Bitcoin conference. What percentage of all of the attributes that Bitcoin has, deservedly has, what percentage was scarcity talked about?
Oh God, it was the mantra. It was like there's this background drum beat and scarcity, 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 scarcity. It was pretty much, that's why I said it's like the only peg that, and then after that, there's a lot of institutional guys who are basically, they already forgot that Bitcoin was Bitcoin, and they were talking about it like a bond or like something that you go to the bank and you deal with the bank and you put your Bitcoin in the bank and you never touch it and you wish it multiply, except it's not going to, and they don't talk about rehypothecation. They don't talk about, all this other stuff.
Don't go past that. Because rehypothecation is very important. And
it's a big word and a lot of people don't get it.
I know. That's why we're going to stop and you're going to explain it, because it's very important. Everybody understands what that is.
Well, it's just like with the dollar. The thing that devalues the dollar is the fact that, banks can lend, $14 against the dollar. So it gets diluted. And if everybody starts calling in their bet, bank is going to run out of money kind of thing. You have the old-fashioned bank runs. Well, with Bitcoin, through all these different proxies and all of these different, tokenization mechanisms, there's this fake Bitcoin that's being created that people think they have Bitcoin, but they'll never be able to actually cash it out to their Bitcoin address. And they're just getting the dollar value of it. The dollar value of it. Okay. And that's what that is. It's essentially, it's not the real thing. It's a ersatz. It's a fake.
Can you buy Bitcoin on Robinhood? I'm told you can.
I'm really like horribly monogamous, when it comes to my exchanges. So I don't touch Robinhood with a 10-foot, member. But yeah, you can. I mean, there's a lot of places where you can buy Bitcoin. There's a lot of big name places, small.
But this is important because we learned from a lot of our young members of our community.
There are a lot of places that will not allow you to withdraw Bitcoin. Once you bought it, they will not allow you. And they'll send you a great paper, and they'll send you a great, email or paper or whatever that'll essentially say that we're doing this for your protection because you're too stupid to handle your own crypto. So, so we'll just hang on to it, so but you can withdraw the monetary value of it, but that's not the same thing. So now, assume also by this point, you're KYC'd and AML'd in their system. So they own your data and they own your capital. Okay. And this is where it gets really sticky, because a lot of people at the show, they didn't realize these things. And you start talking to people and you say, like, you acknowledge all the good things. There's certainly more than enough good things in Bitcoin to merit its nearly $2 trillion net worth today and its 150 million holder penetration. But then there is another 150 million plus of people holding other cryptos. And the Bitcoin people that as they become enlightened, as people spend, as Michael Saylor likes to say, well, have you spent 100 hours learning about Bitcoin? Honestly, Michael, if you have spent 100 hours learning about Bitcoin, you will definitely diversify the hell out of Bitcoin. Okay, if you have put in the time. But so it's one of those things. It's an interesting challenge that he throws at people, and I encourage everybody to spend 100 hours studying Bitcoin and 100 hours studying Epic, because the more you know, the more you will connect the dots by yourself. You're not going to need you or me or or Mike or Max or somebody else explaining. The dots will connect themselves. The more you know, and this is why I think for our evangelists, we're not. If we just focus, we don't need to tear anybody down. If we just focus on telling our story, people will get it, because the advantages are obvious and the dots connect themselves.
It was so funny when I was talking to Todd Lewis. I'm like, hey, Todd, what do you think about the price action? He said, what price action? I said, the Epic Cash. I kind of thought if we got on BitMart that we would see a bump. And he goes, I don't care. You unpack that. And he says,
a lot of us, we don't chase price. Look, the price is a natural function. We have scarcity, and the price is a natural function of mass adoption. Okay. Scarcity kicks in because somebody wants to buy it and the other people are not willing to sell it below a certain point. We had our halvings. So today there are only 5,700 Bitcoins, Epic Cash, entering the market every day. That's it. That's the choke point. And it is going to be another halving later, much later, not too much later, but later.
About a year, a little over a year.
Yeah. So that'll cut it down by half again. But the thing is, so all the natural rules are playing, to our advantage, or the natural rules of the market. The stuff that plays for Bitcoin plays for us also. Yeah. And this is the other thing that, I don't think Bitcoin is going away tomorrow. I don't think Bitcoin is going to die. In fact, if it did, it would suck for the entire crypto market. Okay. we don't want it to die. It's like when you're running against somebody in a race, or you're swimming against somebody in a race, okay? You don't want them to drown or break a leg. You want to, because that'll cheapen your own victory. You want to outperform them. You want to beat them fair and square on your merit, because damn it, you are better, faster, stronger.
And they're very good at getting people into crypto. I mean, Bitcoin is usually people's first coin, right? And so once they're in the game and they understand it, then there are talking points that they can further their education. I mean, my channel started with me just being a newbie who didn't know anything, and it was just following my journey. It's kind of
that is the genuine, honest journey right there. Your story, I mean, multiply that 1,000,000 times and we're going to beat Bitcoin. That's it.
Yeah. And I will tell you honestly, candidly, that I'm just now starting to feel like I have my sea legs, to where I'm starting to get it. It's like I had to ask the question to Max, and you gents this morning. Can I just be really clear? A coin is layer 1, right? But a token is layer 2. You can't have a coin that's layer 2, right? You have to refer to that as a token.
That's kind of the conventional definition. Yeah.
And
there are coins like Ethereum, for example, is a layer 1, but then there's all these chains that subside on Ethereum that use Ethereum to power their stuff. And those are layer 2 solutions. Bitcoin has all these shortcomings, but Bitcoin maxis like to throw, we just sold this with Lightning Network. Well, Lightning Network is a layer 2 solution for Bitcoin. It's like a side channel. Litecoin. Litecoin is is its own thing, but over the time, people face the reality. It's lacking, so therefore they start implementing Mimblewimble. If that sounds familiar, that's what we had before it was cool. Okay. And Litecoin is now adding Mimblewimble as kind of a side thing to improve their value. So, and this is where we look really good. People say, well, you guys might have been like a fork of Grin. Well, initially, yes, but we improved beyond that. We evolved beyond that. We have a better, much more responsible fiscal policy. We have, much better mining algorithms.
Hold on, Yoga. Yep. I just want to appropriately say goodbye to Mike Mumola. Have a great weekend. I know you have.
Mike, peace out, man.
Thank you all. Thank you. Happy Passover, happy Easter, happy weekend, and happy whatever you celebrate. Can't wait for the next epic conversation, guys. Take care.
Indeed.
Take care,
all right. Cheers. Take care. All right. Sorry for the interruption.
No, please. Where was I? But anyways, just talking about layers, so really, and the other thing to consider, look, nothing stops us from adding a layer if for some reason we need to do something else. But layers are dependent on the layer 1 tech. I mean, that's it. They're piggybacked on top of that. Okay.
Hey,
and there's also other things that are kind of like cookie cutter. There's like the Shiba Inus, every dog token, every cat token, every rhino token, all that crap. Okay, and they could be forks, just cheap copy and paste of already existing layer 1 or layer 2 projects. So just because something is a fork, it's not really indicative if it's a layer 1 or a layer 2. I hope I didn't confuse anyone by this.
No, but one of the things that I'd like to talk about, I guess a revelation that I've just had is that, at bottom, we just have no buyers, right? We have an amazing coin, an amazing project. So it's not if we're going to see that price go up, technology kick in, it's when. And that's going to come from exposure and people learning about us and marketing. Now, I'm going to share something because I put in our BitMart Epic Go Live, pushed back on them. It just seemed like there was no marketing done on our behalf. It's like we weren't even on their new coin listing page when we listed. Kind of ticked me off, and a lot of other people. And they responded back saying, what they did do: social media blast, Telegram announcement, Facebook announcement, branding posts with Epic logo, homepage banners on BitMart website. follow Epic Twitter account, listing account on BitMart website, mobile app, CoinGecko listing info update. Note your listing was pinned during your listing time. Well, I swear it must have been pinned at exactly 11 a.m. and taken down at 11:30. So anyway, this is not to knock BitMart. I do think that there was kind of like, once we were finally integrated, which was a hell of a lot harder than anybody thought on their side. I think the marketing of us was just an afterthought, and I don't know, frankly, how much marketing that they've actually done on our behalf. But I want to let the community knows. No, I've been underwhelmed with it, and I know others have, and I know you have if you're in our community. But let's focus on the fact that we're there. And I wanted to, Yoga, ask you, what makes a layer one like Epic Cash, or Epic Cash in particular, so difficult to integrate within these exchanges?
Well, they have to essentially custom tailor for our particular way of doing things. Essentially, it's like you have a lock and then you have a unique key, and so we have a unique key, and they needed to create a unique lock for us. Okay, that's kind of what it is in a nutshell. So if you're onboarding an Ethereum clone, for example, well, Ethereum is already on every exchange out there. So it's a cookie cutter, cut and paste, slap it and go solution. Okay. But anytime you run into something original like Monero or like Epic or something else, it's harder to integrate. If you're forked off of something that's like in the top 10, well, it takes 10 minutes to integrate. Well, not 10 minutes, but it takes a day, let's say, to integrate.
Right.
Okay. But if you're coming in with something like, we don't have addresses, for example, we don't have, so we do things in a different way. Okay. It's very advantageous for privacy standpoint. It makes integration a little bit more challenging. It makes verification, because the biggest thing, and this is the biggest thing, is there's a security component. It's not just doing it, right? So it's not just connecting us to an exchange. It's the exchange. It's like with a bank it's about the trust and being hacker proof. Okay. And the exchange needs to really understand your tech. They need to understand why somebody can't fudge a transaction. They need to understand. And with us, it's really simple. The Peterson commitment makes it really simple. If things match, they go through. If they don't match, they get discarded. So that our blockchain is beautifully light and our verification process is beautifully simple. But it's something that they have not dealt with before. Right. So with Vitex, when they integrated us, they took the initiative, they studied us, they understood how we operate, and they onboarded us. Okay. With BitMart, we came in and we're like, hey, let's get the ball rolling. And they're like, well, and you guys know how long it took. And a lot of that was because we are a unique beast for them, and they needed to.
And all of those unique things came out after they thought we were ready. So, but then when you do, some, piece of cake, we're right now at the testing stage and things don't work, then it becomes a Chinese fire drill. And that's what happened. But I guess the message.
And by the way, no pun intended, they are in China, and we have part of our team in US, part of our team in Germany, part of our team in Brazil. So part of the challenge is literally coordinating the freaking time zones.
Really, because when they go to sleep, we're up. When we're up, they go to sleep. That's very true. That was a big challenge. But I just want everyone to know, it is a great milestone that we're on BitMart. And so now we have a KY exchange that's large and meaningful.
Was that a slip of the tongue with the KY, or are you actually going to say KYC?
Did I not say KYC?
Is this like a lubricant with vitamin C, or is it a know your customer?
We have a KYC. We have a KY solution at the Ben Dover exchange.
Right.
All right. We have a KYC solution. We have a non-KYC solution. we're
Right.
covered. If we're never on another KYC exchange again, I'd be happy with that.
Well, I think the next KYC exchange will come to us. Once we
Yeah,
hit a
sure.
certain point, there's some big guys that I talk to who are eyeballing us, and they're very actually embracive. They just want somebody who is, has been around, which we have been around, and
Yeah.
who has hit some milestones, and we're hitting those milestones. So I'm cautiously optimistic
right.
as far as that goes. But the one thing to kind of drive home as far as the KYC, non-KYC, look, I honestly didn't think that all of our private enthusiasts, KYC haters, are just suddenly going to jump on BitMart. Okay. But
Yeah.
what I like about BitMart is it's that incremental opportunity for all those other people who honestly will not step into a non-KYC pond. They'll not
Yes.
even dip a toe. So what I like now is that, look, we have classic Coke and we have Diet Coke, or whatever, however you say it, but now there are no excuses. Okay.
That's right.
People can come in through the regular channel, through our beautiful white wallet, which is fine and dandy, or they can go through a KYC classical, boring, but institutionally quote safe and vetted exchange that has offices in New York and Singapore and so on. So now you have options, and I think, to me, that's a huge chance for us to grow our audience.
That's right.
You have people from this side of the aisle, and you have people from this side of the aisle. Now we have offering for both.
Yep. So right now, frankly, if I'm being a physician and doing a medical assessment, it is just about marketing. We have to figure that out. And there are different ways to be able to market, guerrilla marketing. But the fact is, it's pay to play. So we're going to figure out how the right ways. But here I am, I'm just sitting here thinking, gosh, I remember when we were at $2, we went to 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, and we didn't have any of this. E3 wasn't released. We aren't
organic. It was organic.
It was totally organic, and we weren't on the precipice of the Diego wallet that's going to just blow everybody's minds how freaking good it is going to be. We didn't have any of that, but now we launched E3, and we integrated E3 into VGate and Vitex and BitMart, and so we've done it. We caught a lot of bugs in there, that have, and we have the GUI wallet that has received.
It's getting better.
It's getting better.
We kind of went a little nuts with it because we listen to everybody, and it's like a Homer Simpson car thing. Okay, we listen to everybody, and we try to do it like a Swiss Army knife to have all the options. And as it turns out, that kind of blew the mind of about 80% of our folks. Okay, it was too much of a good thing. So we're going to simplify it, and we're going to, I'm thinking kind of like have both, have a super simplified, and then have, like, for those of us who are crazy and we like to tinker with stuff, have kind of a developer friendly Swiss Army, wallet approach.
Yeah. Well, one thing I learned yesterday, we kindly got an update from Diego, which I've never gotten off of a phone call that I have been as excited. I was actually on a cigar walk, and it was at the end of my cigar walk, and I was walking a lot faster after Diego got off and was sharing a lot. But he did say something about what's going to be included in his wallet called Epic Box, and I'm like, okay, way over my head. But so I'm just going to mention that now. But it's from what you and Max had shared, it's basically Epic Box allows for non-interactive transactions. So you can send to a normal address without needing to be online, both at the same time. So you can send to a normal address without needing both. That's double.
Both computers don't have, both people don't have to be online.
Because currently they do, right? If you're on the native chain, both of you have to be on. Okay, I'm ready.
Unless you're sending by file. You can send by file.
Okay, yeah, and by file.
But that gets a little quirky, and
that
not
goes
everybody
over
knows how to do it.
95.
Yeah, but it's a cool spy thing, man. You can put it on a flash stick and you leave it under a rock. And
so the cool thing is when the Diego wallet is spun up, it's going to be just like on, Vite. to where if you have somebody's address, you can go ahead and send them 10 Epic, let's say, and they don't have to be there waiting with something open with a catcher's mitt. No, it's just
next time they get in, they're
going to go into their
up.
Epic box, and then when they go in, they'll be able to see it, and everything is good. It all happens behind the scenes, and it's going to be just a wonderful user experience. Now, not giving any timing. There were some. There were some medical issues that Diego and his family were dealing with that kind of pushed things back a little bit. So we, all the best wishes in the world. Everything seems to be fine now, but that did push things back a little bit. But targeting, early summer ish. But he was so excited about it. And guys, he created Cake Wallet, right? Which is, I think, by every measure, most people in the industry would say that's the best wallet out there. And he thinks this is just going to not blow it away. I mean, he's not going to knock his own creation, but I'm just telling you, we should all be super excited about this. So when I look at the $2 and I look at everything that we've accomplished, all of the milestones that we have achieved, and I take a look at the fact that the world is turned upside down right now, is crazy. And guys, gals, we are just undiscovered, but man, oh man, do we have a great story to tell, and we're going to continue to tell it, and we are going to continue to grow. And boy, what an opportunity to be in on the ground floor of something so special as Epic Cash. So when Todd Lewis says, I don't care about the price, I care about telling the basic story of how great Epic blockchain is, and we're going to do that. He's like, everyone will catch up, dude.
And one thing, not to take a step backwards on this a little bit, but one thing that I would also like to say is, you're talking about when we're kind of going up and up and up and up and up.
Yeah.
And we didn't have 3.0, we didn't have the improved GUI wallet, we didn't have BitMart and things like that.
Right.
And there's a danger, and I've been in many projects in business and, big business, billion-dollar company and so on. There come these points in the curve of the development of the company where sometimes people kind of like take the foot off the gas,
right,
rest on their laurels or something like that. And I want to caution against ever doing that, because I think that as soon as you pause, as you stop, everything starts passing you. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think the greatness of our community it's ever growing. It's ever improving, is to keep that level of intensity, to keep spreading the word, and not to wait for us to hit a particular milestone. And then once we hit it, people go, oh, well, shoot, now we're here, we can stop. And somebody will take over, and it's like, we are those somebody.
Yeah, that's right.
We are running that marathon together. Okay. So to me, I think part of it is right now we had a lot of things happen, and it's natural to pause and reflect and digest.
Right.
But I think we've done enough of that, and we need to kick it back in gear. And that means, yes, we'll do marketing, we'll do this, but at individual level, and this is why I love this project, at individual level, neither you or I can change the price of Bitcoin today, but man, all of us can change the price of Epic today.
That's a great point.
That's crazy powerful. That's crazy powerful. I just want everybody to flex their power.
That's the mic drop moment that we're going to end on. That was beautifully put. Everyone in the chat, thank you. Always love seeing you there, even though I haven't been paying attention because I've been so focused on my wonderful opportunity to go one-on-one with, not one-on-one, but be one-on-one with Yoga. And brother, this has been an awesome live stream. I really enjoyed it. Thank you for your contribution.
Always good, always much respect. And let's get Tom Brady to take Epic to number 12.
Yeah. I like it. Okay, everyone. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Everybody tells me that I always cut off too fast. So if I just sit here and look kind of like a douche for a while, forgive me. I'm just trying to be I'm trying to appease those people who said, quit doing that. It just cuts off too fast. So I'm going to say, have a great weekend. Cheers.
Bye-bye.